Evening. I'd like to call our meeting to order. May I have approval of the agenda?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. John Akam, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Would you all please rise, move your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, John. Let's move forward then with announcements and recognitions. First up, we have Mark Rand with today's announcements.
Thank you, Shannon. We would like to invite the community to join us this Friday for the Beloit Memorial High School homecoming game with Madison East. Varsity begins at 7:30 p.m. on our own Jacobson Field. Meanwhile, during the day, the students will show off their creativity with class floats illustrating this year's theme, A Night at Sea. The floats, accompanied by our award-winning band students, will be paraded down 4th Street through downtown Beloit, along with representation from the many sports teams and activity groups. Everyone is invited to the parade, which starts at 1 p.m. this Friday, September 27th. An ad hoc committee of the Board of Education, under the leadership of Chairwoman Kay Nordstrom, has been given the task of researching who to name the new intermediate school after, and is in the process of gathering community input. Community members are invited to submit names according to the following criteria: demonstrating exemplary moral character, made an outstanding contribution to education, humanity, or the community, displayed outstanding leadership, or is a person of historical significance. The deadline for submissions is Friday, October 4th, 2013. A submission form is located in the announcements section of the district website, www.beloitschools.net. We had a tremendous turnout at this month's ribbon-cutting event at Converse Elementary School and look forward to more celebrations in the next couple weeks. This Thursday, September 26th, starting at 6 p.m., we will be at Merrill's celebration, and then at Robinson's event on Sunday, the 27th, beginning at 2 p.m. Each event will feature a short program, tours, refreshments, and giveaways. Meanwhile, save October 21st on your calendar for the Beloit Memorial High School pool ribbon cutting. Details will be posted on our website, beloitschools.net. This concludes the September announcements.
Thank you, Mark. Melissa Badger, could you please join us now for our recognition for this evening?
We have a fun recognition for you tonight. So to start, I guess I'd like to ask Todd Clary, the boys golf coach from Beloit Memorial High School, and James Hoy, the assistant coach, to join me at the podium along with our high school boys golf team. These are the ones that could make it tonight, representing the team from the spring who had a fantastic season, and I'll let Coach Clary tell you a little bit about it.
Thank you, Melissa. First of all, thank you for this recognition. I'd like to introduce senior Colton Kelly. We have David Wandell, who actually graduated last year, but was able to come back. John Polglaze, who will be a senior. Connor Day is a freshman at UW-Madison. And TJ Polglaze is actually in Nebraska pursuing his hockey dreams. So unfortunately, he was not able to be with us tonight, but we had an amazing season. This was my 11th year coaching as head coach of the boys team, and the second time we've been to state in that time. We did finish 10th this year. We took 5 second-place finishes in tournaments. We were ranked as high as 8th in the state after 3 consecutive second-place finishes. We won the regional title. That was our 4th regional title in the last 11 years, and we won sectionals for the first time that a Beloit school or Beloit Memorial has won sectionals in over 30 years. So besides that, we placed 3 of our young men on the academic all-state team. Our team was honorable mention all-state academic, and Colton and Connor were honorable mention all-state and second team all-conference. So all in all, it was a very successful season. The thing I'm most proud of is the way the young men conduct themselves. We get many compliments from golf courses, the pros there, and they have a lot of respect from the coaches across our conference as well. So They represent Beloit as gentlemen, which is expected of them, and they definitely have carried themselves well over my tenure, and this year was no exception. We have amazing support from the 3 golf courses, Kruger Haskell, Country Club of Beloit, and Glen Aaron. I've had amazing support from parents, Coach Hoy, my assistant, my previous assistant, Lee Rooker, when I started. It's been fun rebuilding Beloit Golf, putting Beloit Golf back on the map, and we look forward to continued success. So thank you for this recognition.
And we have some certificates for you. And I have to say, you know, you think you can just go out there and hit a ball. It is so much harder than it looks. So the fact that you guys go out there and made to state and still are wonderful students in the classroom is just phenomenal. So I get to be the one to award these to you for outstanding demonstration of hard work, talent, and drive, resulting in the qualification for state competition for the 2012-2013 BMHS boys golf team at state.
Hear, hear.
Thank you, Melissa, and thank you both to our coaches and to our student athletes. And I want to say thank you for representing Beloit well. And when Coach Clary said that our students are well received on the golf courses, correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but I believe that our students have privileges that some of our partners in the Big 8 do not, with the ability to practice at the country club and to be well respected and to be able to walk on and enjoy those privileges. And I think that bodes well not only to our coaching staff but to our student athletes as well, that they carry an expectation with them on how to represent the school district of Beloit, and they do it phenomenally well.
They really do. Just to give you an example, for years the Janesville Country Club Pro has opened an invitation to our young men to come up and play there anytime we want for a different area to practice because of the way they conduct themselves. I mean, it truly is noticed, but it is expected of them, and they'll tell you that, but they do come through, and that's probably one of the things I'm most proud of is just the way we do represent Beloit. So it's our privilege.
Thank you, and on behalf of the Board of Education, to our student athletes and to our coaches, thank you for representing Beloit and making Beloit proud.
Thank you.
We greatly appreciate you.
Thank you.
We are now at the point of the evening where any citizens or delegations that would like to speak to any area of interest that is not posted on tonight's agenda, I would ask that you would move to the podium now. Seeing no movement to the podium, let's move forward then to superintendent's report. Superintendent's report to the board. With that, Steve, please.
Thanks, Shannon. This year, just like we did last year, I'm going to ask our principals to, more important than anything I'd have to say, get out and talk about what's going on in the buildings. And Sam Carter from Robinson, who has a busy week in front of them with their ribbon cutting next Sunday at 2 o'clock, like Mark had talked about, had graciously accepted the offer to come and share with you as a board the opening of the school year at his brand new facility over there. So, Sam.
Good evening. I just came from Scoopy Night at Culver's, so I find at these Scoopy Nights they really confuse the kids because they usually think we stay there at school and sleep, but then they see us at Culver's with the apron serving food, so now they think we have 2 jobs. But had a good turnout at Scoopy Night tonight, good crowd, so we'll be making some money for the PTSA and good things at Robinson. I need to start off by thanking the board and Steve for leadership and Imagine Beloit and the community for voting for that referendum because it was a good thing. The facility, if you haven't seen it yet, is amazing. We've had overwhelming positive response from the public. I can't say enough about how when people, they're walking a little taller when they bring their kids to school, they love to see it, they're proud of it, and they did the right thing for kids. We've got kids out of hallways into spaces for intervention. We have a beautiful new gymnasium where now we can conduct PE classes, which helps with scheduling while students eat. Parking lot to be data driven. We've got that thing down to where it's clear in 11.5 minutes. So 11.5 minutes, the parking lot is getting clear, and cars are off Cranston now, and it's flowing well. So the space and the facility is top notch, And CCI was a great partner to work with, and it was a good thing for kids and for our community. This is our second year this year of our dual language program. We've now expanded it to first grade. I've heard many of the kids that are native English speakers reading in Spanish, and I've also heard the native Spanish speakers improve their reading and read to me as well. And another key factor to that program is I have native Spanish speakers read to me in their native language, and they're improving in that. And the research shows us that if you improve that primary language, you will also improve their secondary. So it's really neat to see the things that are going on with that program, and we're having great success with it right now. Looking forward to continued expansion. Our single gender classes are going well. We still have a class of 30 girls and a class of 18 boys doing great things, and that program is still continuing at Robinson School. We're in the middle of our MAP testing right now, and we'll use that MAP data to help form our instructional groups for our after-school program, where we'll be in our second year of the Community Learning Grant, 21st Century Grant at Robinson. So we'll be targeting students for improvement based on that MAP data, and look forward to starting that up again soon. Our Boys and Girls Club will be starting on October 2nd at Robinson. We will be receiving Beating the Odds Award on October 8th up at the Capitol, one of 5 schools in the district, and I believe that is a testimony that we are in the right direction in the district. When you have 5 schools out of a district, you know you're moving the right way. I am proud to work with an amazing group of teachers that I cannot say enough about. They had a challenging year with all the construction last year, but still managed to get the job done. They are dedicated, and they work with some difficult students, but they are top-notch educators and working hard every day to serve this community. So I'd like to thank them. The directions we're going with our PLCs, our professional learning communities, we're really narrowing that down this year at Robinson. We have a great space, conference room to work in and meet in, collaborate in, and that's a true direction, a positive direction we're all going in, and we'll see great gains from that. Our ribbon cutting is Sunday, the 29th at 2 p.m. Hope to see many of you there. It should be a great event and great weather. So I'd like to thank the board for this opportunity to speak. And Robinson you're always welcome to come to Robinson. It's always open. So.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Are there any questions or concerns or any thoughts for Mr. Carter? John Winkleman, please.
Just a quick question. So always just try to, read everything that comes to us, and we try to understand everything from test scores and all that stuff that just comes out. In a nutshell, can you tell us what Robinson is doing great, like 1 or 2 things that we can highlight? So if I'm at farmer's market and somebody says, tell me about Robinson, what's my elevator response to
we
what's
have
going great?
many great things. Our professional learning communities, the way our grade level teachers collaborate, share data, work with kids to meet student needs is what gets the job done. The way that they work through our intervention teams and collaborating, talking together, that's one thing that we do great. I love our specialized program with the dual language and the single gender classrooms. I think those are both positive things to draw people to our school and our district. We do that fantastically well. We have a caring staff. Our motto is instruction, professionalism, and service this year, and that's what we do every day, all day. So I work to partner with the community and build those community relationships, and expect that out of my teachers too, and they deliver. So.
Thank you.
Mr. Carter, I just want to say on behalf of the board, thank you for sharing with us tonight all the great things that are happening at Robinson, and can't wait for the ribbon cutting. And I know it's been a long year of construction and dust, but it's well worth it. And thank you
Very
for
much worth it.
staying true to the end goal and the excitement that we shall see on Sunday. So
Yep.
thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Let's move forward now to reports to the board. First up, we have student board member report, and this evening we are joined by two new student board members. We have Rebecca Charles and Jesse Porter, so let me turn it over to you two.
Hey now.
Hello, I'm Jesse Porter. I'm a senior at Beloit Memorial High School, obviously, and I'm just really excited to be here and work with you guys. And I'm really excited to, I hope to get a good idea of what goes on here and what really goes into the education, because I've spent 4 years at Beloit Memorial, and receiving this education, I really want to know what happens and what goes on to bring me that education. And on a side note, I just wanted to thank everyone on the board and everyone in the community who assisted me in attending Stanford University this summer. It was probably the greatest experience of my life, and I really appreciate all the support I received. Thank you, guys.
Hello, I'm Rebecca, and I just wanted to thank you all for welcoming us as your new student reps. And I'll just give you a little update on the school. It is homecoming week, and I think this year it's going really well, and we're having a lot of fun, but we're also remaining safe, and I think we're also remaining more responsible. So I think the senior class has taken the leadership that it needs to take and the steps it needs to take to have a fun, safe homecoming. And we hope to see everyone from the community at our homecoming football game and our homecoming parade, just to see how much pride we really do have in our school, especially during homecoming week. That's really obvious. So if you guys, if you can make it out to that, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you both. And actually, if you could help us understand, or to our viewers out there tonight, how is it that a student is selected to be a board representative?
Well, there's a few announcements towards the end of the year around May, and you basically have to sign up, you have to fill out some paperwork, and your class elects you. Jesse and I wanted to run together because we're pretty much involved in every activity there could possibly be in the school. So we want a broad aspect of what different ideas from the student body and different needs. So we decided to run together, especially because one of us is a male, one of us is a female. We thought it'd be a good representation of the school. So we ran on the same ticket, if you will, and your student, the senior class votes.
Are there any questions for our student board members? John Aiken, please.
And all the time I thought that the only reason you got to do this was just because you're extremely lucky.
No.
All right, we're glad to have you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Michael, and then John Winkleman, please.
I just want to welcome you guys and also to encourage you to, if you come to any other meetings, you know, you're welcome to do that and participate as much as you'd like. If there are things you want to comment on during our meetings or you have questions about stuff, just always feel free to raise your hand and chime in. Don't think that you're just limited to, you know, the student rep portion of the agenda. Okay?
Let me add my welcome, and we are never usually lacking for questions of the students, so I'll start that off. And simple one tonight, easy one. They get harder, I'll warn you, okay? The simple one tonight is, there's two of you, so can you give me two great things about Beloit Memorial? There's people watching on the TV.
I think my favorite thing about Beloit Memorial is the wide perspective you get. You will meet kids from every background with every identity, every ideal that you can possibly imagine. And it's just great to get exposure to those ideas that may differ from yours, and you get to learn to work with kids like that and people like that, and it just really prepares you for the real world, because in the real world there's no set guidelines, and everyone's going to think differently, and you need to learn how to work with people. And I think Beloit Memorial is doing a great job of teaching me how to work with people from all backgrounds.
On top of the diversity, I would just like to add that I think one of the best things about our school is Dr. Johnson. And if he's watching, I'm not just trying to suck up, but I really do think that since he came, I know he did come 4 years ago, but you still see a difference every year. If you walk through the hallway during class time, there's no one in the hallways. There's no one there lingering after school. There's no one, doing the wrong things on that white wall outside of the school. We have a night spot now. We have a five block schedule, which gets us up to 10 credits in 1 year. So Jesse and I could graduate now if we wanted to, and most people can graduate by the end of their junior year. So I really think Dr. Johnson is pretty much one of the best assets to our school.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Again, both welcome to you. And again, our committee meetings meet the second Tuesday of every month, as well as typically we have a special meeting prior to this meeting. So you're welcome to all the meetings, and we look forward to your participation. Let's move forward now to committee meeting reports. First up, we have Finance, Transportation, and Property Committee. John Winkleman, please.
Thank you, Shannon. And we will recognize that Dr. Johnson is obviously their principal, right? Came 4 years ago. They're graduating now. There is a correlation here. So thank you, Dr. Johnson, if you're watching. Finance, Transportation met on September 10th. We had a short but robust agenda. We spent some time talking about the OPEB Trust Asset Management. You guys like that? So we'll talk a little more about that. OPEB Trust has to do with other post-employment benefits. Yeah, got that one? OPEB. And so we had worked on a trust before, a trust system where the money for OPEB was going into a trust, and it was then being managed through CESA 6 and partially through Associated Bank and another group. Over the summer, pieces changed in CESA 6, and that kind of fell apart. And so what came to us was the representatives from Associated Bank, and the staff did research with them, and we've moved, after much discussion, moved the trust to that group, and feel good about that. They were there and answered questions, and I think in many ways, having one group paying attention to what's coming in, what's going out, and one person managing it, also making sure that it is transparent so people can get in and see what's going on. It was a critical factor to be able to do that. So that recommendation is coming to the board tonight. We spent some time with budget adjustments. This is the end of the year season. So Janelle and her staff are working with the auditors and getting ready for the audit. And so that means making sure we have all the grants noted in the right place and all of the adjustments that need it. So that one is coming as well tonight. And then future discussion items will be the budget. October, for those of you that are interested, will be basically budget month for us. And while we're in pretty good shape, it is still lots of discussion to happen. So for those of you who are interested, October meetings will include much budget discussion. So with that, I think we were adjourned.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John? Seeing none, let's move forward to curriculum and instruction. John Aiken, please.
Okay, the Curriculum and Instruction Committee met on September the 10th, and we started out reviewing two proposed new grant opportunities, which will come up later in this meeting. One is from the Department of Public Instruction, which we can use to help to train our educators to become even more effective. And this is a school district that I'm sure everybody has recognized as one that believes in the importance of continuing education for our educators, because we are constantly striving to get better, and continuous improvement is just the way we live. And the other grant proposal was from an organization called WellPoint Foundation, and it's designed to strengthen our already excellent physical education program with the purchase of biometric readers and the hiring of part-time support staff. We also received a report on summer training that's designed to step up our 4K through grade 8 writing program. And I particularly like this initiative, as I believe that writing is too often trailing reading in today's education. I believe that's true throughout the United States. We believe that writing needs to be taught just like any other basic skill, and with explicit instruction, ample time for practice. And that belief is now being implemented throughout our school district, as we have a new writing curriculum to work with. We have teachers training to train to train other teachers in all of our buildings. These teachers invested part of their time this summer in themselves being trained, and it's all good. And finally, we talked about the DPI recommendations for what we must teach and what we have the option to teach or would like to teach. And the obvious things that are required are exactly what you would expect. Reading, language arts, math, social studies, science, health, physical education, art, and music, grades kindergarten through 6. We also learned that schools are being encouraged to integrate reading and writing into health, science, and social studies. And again, what we were really seeing, I think, was in addition to these specifics, we were seeing overall the increased rigor that's in education today. There's no doubt about it in my mind that the rigor in today's classroom is the expectations in today's classroom greater than ever before, and I think that's a good thing. I like that. So that concludes my report. Any questions?
Are there any questions for John? Seeing none, at this point, Nora Gard asked that we share that she this evening is with her mother who has emergency surgery this evening. So our thoughts and prayers are with her, and Nora was the only family member that could be with her tonight. Later in the meeting, she does have a few questions that I'll be posing on her behalf. With that being said, Mark, she has asked, would you please cover the mini meeting notes for us for
I'd be
policy and
happy to.
personnel?
Obviously, I won't do as good a job as Nora, but I'll do my best. Policy and Personnel Committee met on the 27th of August. We basically just approved the agenda and went over personnel recommendations. We met again on September 10th, 2013. At that meeting, we went over the, Todd Kabelka had Carol Kostrolsik from Beloit Health, I believe, come in and talk about our employee assistance program. She did a fine job explaining that to us, and so she talked about that. We also talked about WASB policy resources. In reviewing our policies, WASB has a service that they'll go over them for us, and at the cost of $4,000 per year, and we just kind of felt like it might be a good idea to do it once they're all completed. There's a cheaper version for that. We went over some policies in the 150 series for first reading, and some policies in the 600 series. For second reading, we went over policies in the 300 series, programs for students with special education needs, homebound instruction guidelines, fees for evaluations, approved assessment instruments for use in independent educational evaluations. And we approved all those to the full board for final reading, so you'll be hearing about those tonight. We also went over some policies in the 500 series, educator contracts, professional education evaluation. Those have been approved with revision to the full board for first reading. And we got an update on the master policy log, which, as you can imagine, is pretty extensive. And Michelle's gave us a good update on that, so we appreciate that. We also went over some other personnel recommendations, talked about some labor liaison updates that Todd had indicated that he'll be meeting with union representatives to review the teacher evaluation and changes coming from the state. We talked a little bit about a legislative update. One of our representatives, Tim Cullen, has announced he will not be seeking re-election. And with that, we were adjourned. And that's all I have, if anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Mark. Looks like we have a question from Michael.
I would just like for you to do it all over again in Nora's voice, if you could.
Moving on.
Okay.
Let's move forward now with the consent list.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Thank you. Next up, we have business and action items. First up is the OPEB Trust Asset Management.
I would move that the Board of Education accepts the OPEB Trust Management recommendation to move the OPEB trust assets to Associated and remove CESA 6 and Greystone.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. This is the first of 3 items that Nora had asked that I pose a question on. And the question that she has is that as we look at the proposal, starting on page 34, I believe, it is listed as a resolution. And her question is, do we need to number this resolution?
Wouldn't think so.
This was a resolution, right? Isn't that the way it reads?
I think the proposed language that we had incorporated was a resolution, but we are not adopting it as a resolution, was my understanding.
Right, correct.
Okay. So with that being said, I believe that in the method of which we're adopting it, a resolution number would not be necessitated. Is that correct?
Sound right?
Right.
I'm seeing head nods. So we'll go with that. We'll go forward with that understanding. If we find out later that it should have been a numbered resolution, we can bring it back to do so at the time. So is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, it has been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Let's move forward now with budget and adjustments.
Move to accept proposed adjustments as presented.
Second?
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Next, we have new fund development opportunities.
Move approval of seeking these new funds that I previously discussed in my report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. We are now at policy 151.1, policy adoption and revision for first reading.
Move approval.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion does carry. Moving us to item F, policy 153, rule 1, implementation procedures for first reading.
Move approval.
Any discussion? This is the second item that Nora asked that I speak on her behalf. She's requesting a friendly amendment on item 4. Grammatically, the second paragraph currently reads, each board member completes sections 1 through 11, the instrument, make comments as required and desired, and completes the summary evaluation profile. She is requesting through friendly amendment that grammatically we change that sentence to read, each board member comments as required and desired on the assessment. Would that be an amenable, friendly amendment?
Each board member completes the instrument, makes comments as required and desired. That's how the
That's what it
language would
reads
read.
right
That's
now.
what it reads.
She is requesting that we take the word completes out and replace the word completes with comments.
What about the word the instrument?
And the instrument she was leaving in and leaving on the, no, excuse me, striking to on the assessment.
Can I offer a suggestion? Since this is first reading, it will go
Yeah.
back to committee where we can work at that. I would move that we move this piece forward
Yeah.
since it's partway there. And then if it needs to change further, that committee can do that for second reading.
I think that that's definitely very amenable, and I think she just wanted her concerns voiced, of which they have been. And since Nora is the policy chair, I'm sure she can articulate that at the next committee meeting. So thank you for that, John. Is there any further discussion? John Acom, please.
Yeah, I would think that since we're making suggestions to the committee for looking at this again, that the committee seriously look at the use of the word instrument, because it's not defined in here, and some of us who perhaps are less enlightened are wondering what the heck it means. So we might, in the interest of clarity, want to take a look at that word and see if there's a more suitable word or an explanation out thereof or something.
Thank you, John. I think that's where Nora was going with the word assessment, but I would hate to speak for her, so.
Okay, cool.
That'll be a great conversation back to committee. And again, as John Winkleman referenced, this is only for first reading. With that being said and seeing no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Let's move now to policy 532, professional educator contracts for first reading.
Move approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And those opposed? Motion carries. Moving to policy 538, professional educator evaluation for first reading.
I would move 538 and 661 for first reading.
Thank you, Michael. And 661 is depository of funds also for first reading. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion does carry. Moving to item J, revision and deletion of board policies in the 300 series for second reading. This includes 342.1, programs for students with special education needs, 342.1, Rule 1, fees for evaluations, 342.1, Rule 2, approved assessment instruments for use in independent educational evaluations, 342.2, homebound instruction, and 342.2, Rule 1, homebound instruction guidelines.
I would move approval of the 300 series set as just stated by you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Michael. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I think it's always, people get nervous when we're deleting, so we like to keep the book a little bit thinner, but these are basically things that have changed, we don't do anymore, by law we don't do anymore, so it's really kind of catching up to make us more applicable to what we actually do.
Thank you, John. This is the last of the three items that Nora did ask that I speak out on tonight. The question is with 342.1 programs for students with special education needs. She understands that it's being deleted in reference to IEP student needs. However, her concern is, will deletion now exclude testing of gifted and talented students as this policy references unique needs? And I'm looking towards Barb for the response, and I'm seeing a head shake no, that this is exclusively for special education students, and the gifted and talented students will fall under the policies for gifted and talented. Is that correct? And Lene is now shaking her head yes. Outstanding. So full robin, round robin, we have that covered. Perfect. Is there any other questions or concerns regarding the deletion of these policies? Seeing none. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. That moves us to policy 470, Rule 1, guidelines regarding student fees, fines, and charges, pages 84 through 90 in your board packet.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion. John Aiken, please.
I guess I'm in the role tonight of wordsmithing or something, but I felt there has been some confusion in the past among some board members, including myself, in terms of what is the difference between, if any, the word co-curricular and the words extracurricular. And so for the benefit of everybody, I want to just share, including for the television audience, co-curricular activities are those activities outside of the school day that are required and graded as a part of the course. Extracurricular activities are those activities outside of this, and the examples of co-curricular would include DECA and marching band. Extracurricular activities are those activities outside of the school day that are enrichment and supportive of the educational experience, such as jazz band, Latin club, which I actually don't think exists anymore, and athletic team managers. If in fact Latin club doesn't exist anymore, I would also suggest that we, as a friendly amendment, exclude that from these examples.
We're trying
Thank
to
you.
bring it back.
Oh, okay, bring it back. That's wonderful.
Thank you, John. I see Michael.
Did you say jazz hands or jazz band?
I attempted to say jazz band.
Okay,
Perhaps I
thank
didn't
you.
enunciate
No, I
clearly.
just
He did say jazz band, but I believe he also said marching band, and I'm not certain that we have a marching band anymore either.
Oh, how about that? Okay, good point.
They're
So-
just examples.
They're just examples, as John Winkleman is clearly articulating for us all, and they do help us understand the difference between the two. So thank you for educating us this evening, John Aiken. Is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. And those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Policy 952, dedication of facilities for second reading.
Move approval.
Discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. Let's move now to personnel recommendations. Please refer to Exhibit A for personnel recommendations for general employment. The one that is dated revised 9/27/2013, please.
Move approval.
Discussion? John Winkleman, please.
Just a quick note, I mean, this is, September, and just to note that the personnel office has done an awesome job in keeping us up to date, getting people in on short notice, and filling some good positions with some great people. So thank you to them, and it's noted, and we keep seeing it each month as we get this.
Thank you, John. I would ask for a friendly amendment. I just realized as I read that aloud that it is dated revised 9/27/2013. Considering today's date is 9/24/2013, could we amend the revision date to today's date?
Sure.
So the maker of the motion is amenable. Is the seconder?
Talking about the future.
Outstanding. With that being said, I see no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Abstention.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Michael. Duly noted. Next up, we have discussion items. Items of interest for consideration at future meetings. Mark.
I just wanted to ask that everybody on the board join me in wishing our Assistant Superintendent, Lene, happy birthday. She is celebrating...
There you go.
She is celebrating the 29th anniversary of her 21st birthday today, so congratulations, Lene.
It's the fourth time she's done that. That's what I heard.
And for everyone with us this evening, there is birthday cake back in the superintendent's office immediately following the meeting this evening.
Hey now.
Are there any other items of interest for consideration at future meetings?
Birthday cake.
John Winkleman, please.
Just one, because I've had people ask me about it. Can we come back and talk just a little bit more about school store and where we are? I keep having that come back to me again, and I know that a couple of questions and we can take a look. So,
Thank you, John, and I'm hearing that from both Johns. So, any other items of interest for consideration at future meetings? Seeing none, let's announce now our future board meeting dates. We have committee meetings scheduled for October the 8th, 2013, and that will include Finance, Transportation, and Property, Curriculum and Instruction, and Policy and Personnel. Our special budget meeting shall be held on October the 21st, as well as our business, which will immediately precede our business meeting. Actually, I misspoke. It will not immediately precede our business meeting, as our business meeting will be scheduled for Tuesday, October the 22nd. Again, that special budget meeting will be held on Monday, October 21st. Unless there are any objections,
Shannon,
I'm seeing concerns. Yes, Michael?
did you reference the upcoming ribbon cuttings?
I did not, but Mark did, and we can reiterate those. We have.
Yeah, I just want to remind people.
Did you want to do that?
No, I don't. I would
Okay.
rather
then
you do it.
I shall do it. Thursday at Merrill Elementary School, we do have our ribbon cutting at 6 p.m., and that will be followed then by Robinson School on Sunday at 2 p.m. So we welcome all community members to join us in those celebrations. Are there any other items? Yes, John Acom.
There's also a pool ribbon cutting. The 21st of October, which is the same day as the special budget meeting, but presumably not at the same time.
We will ensure that they are not at the same time, as we would most definitely want to be there in that exciting opportunity.
We are so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for looking out for all of us. Unless there are any objections at this point, we shall be adjourned. Seeing none, thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.